As someone who is trying really hard not to make too ambitious of a hopefuls list each month, I'm not off to a good start. Hey book besties, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be rounding up my January reads and my February hopefuls. It was a little bit of a weird month in January, but I think I'm out of the little slump that I was in, and February has a good lineup. A big one, but a good one, I think. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and stick around for more book content. I love sharing book reviews, book recommendations, and roundup videos like these, so make sure you're following along. In January, I ended up reading 10 books, which is perfect because I set a goal for this year to only read a maximum of 10 books each month. I'm trying to spend more time doing some writing, and I was able to do that a little bit, as much as I had planned or wanted to last month, but I did some. It's kind of hard to navigate a new routine, especially after the holidays, so I'm figuring it out, but I think I've got something set up that I'm prioritizing writing, and my books are proof of that I, could do some reading and a little bit of writing, but I just need to be doing more. We'll see. And I will say that I hit like a little bit of a slump in January. I mean, the world is absolutely blowing up right now, but it got to a point where things just felt really despairing, and I struggled with my reading. At the time, I had been trying to read 2 romance arcs, and my brain shut off, was like, no, this is not what you want to read right now. I would try to read these books, and they're good books, but I just could not get into them. I couldn't, it wasn't engaging me enough to drown out my anxieties and the stress of everything happening. So it sucked because these were 2 arcs that I wanted to read before the books were released, and I couldn't do it. And it was hard because I didn't know what I wanted to read. My mind was telling me to read dystopian. So I did end up getting there, and I think I'm pulling myself out of this feeling. I'm still having a lot of anxiety, but I'm kind of itching to read more romance again, so we will get back to it. But anyway, these are the 10 books that I finished in January. First up, I read a novella called Raven's Ridge. This is written by a fellow book talker who is releasing a full-length book in this universe in a couple of months, so she had this little short novella to read to kind of get readers excited about the story. And let me tell you, I am very excited because this was so good. I'm already hooked on these characters and I cannot wait to read more about them. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. Towards the beginning of the month, I did finish 2 arcs for thriller books. I had them as arcs, but they both released in January. First is It Should Have Been You. I only gave this one 2 stars. I didn't really care for it. I will say that the beginning hooked me right away. Something happens right off the bat where you're just so intrigued, but after that it just kind of dipped down and got so slow, and by the time it picked back up again, I just didn't care about these characters anymore. And next is All the Little Houses. This one, again, I only gave it 2 stars. I didn't really care for it. It drug on a lot, and I think it's not quite a thriller. I was pretty intrigued in the beginning because it's sort of got a historical aspect to it where it takes place in the 80s, and there's some mystery going on. You don't really know. There's some weird family dynamics, rich people dynamics. It was interesting, but after a while I was just like, what's the point of this? Nothing's happening. Where's this going? And then by the time I got to the end, it was nothing happened. And I read about it online, and apparently there's another book coming with this, after this or something. I simply don't care. What's funny about those 2 books is that I have never read books by those authors before. These are my first ones, but I did watch the TV series that each of these authors had come out last year. Andrea Mara's book, All Her Fault, was made into a TV show, which was phenomenal. May Cobb, The Hunting Wives, another phenomenal show. So I was pretty hopeful that their books would be good too, and it just wasn't for me. But I'm not going to not try them. I will try other books that they've written and see if anything else hits. Next is Dragonfires Everywhere. This is the 4th book in the Witchlure series, and it's the last one, and I'm so sad to leave these characters. I loved this story so much. I love the way the whole series wrapped up in this book. It was just so beautiful. I gave this one 5 stars. Next is Done and Dusted. This is the first book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series, and I ate it up. I gave it 5 stars. I loved it so much, and I'm excited to continue with the series. Next is The Testaments. I gave this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I had actually first started reading this book last January in 2025, and I just at the time wasn't feeling it, and I kept trying to pick it up now and then, and it wasn't grabbing at me. And there were times where I was like, this is really dark, like I'm just not in the mood for something dark. So I had been like 40% through and didn't pick it up for months. And when I was hitting my slump, I was like wanting something dystopian, so I thought about, well, maybe I should pick this up. And I did. And I'm so glad I did because it was really good. And I ended up doing an immersive read with the audio, which was the best choice because the audio was so good. So if you know anything about The Handmaid's Tale or this book in particular, this story follows Aunt Lydia. She's one of the POVs from The Handmaid's Tale, which in the book, you don't see a whole lot about Aunt Lydia. You do in the show, but this book has a whole POV of her. And the actress who plays Aunt Lydia in The Handmaid's Tale does the narration for Aunt Lydia in the book, which just took the experience to a whole new level for me. And so I really, really enjoyed that. If you haven't read this one, I highly recommend it. It was really good. I read Fragile Sanctuary, the first book in the Sparrow Falls series. I'm so excited because I've been really wanting to read more Catherine Cowles, and I can't wait to keep going with this one. This was so good. It's a romantic suspense, and it was really thrilling, especially towards the end. I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I read Remain. This was my book club's pick for this month, and it was okay. I gave it 3 stars. There was just a lot that was really lacking in this story, and I felt like there was a lot more telling rather than showing. It just felt very, very bland to me. So yeah, it was just okay. I will say that I am excited to see the movie adaptation of this, just to see how they put it together and how it's different. Somebody at book club said that these two, I guess they came up with the idea for the book together, but Nicholas Sparks wrote the book, and then M. Night Shyamalan is doing the movie, so I don't know. I'm just not sure how there's going to be differences or, what's going to happen, but either way, I'm intrigued. I will watch it. We will see. Next, Before Dorothy. I loved this so much. I gave this book 5 stars, and it was fantastic. This was another book that I had actually started before this month. I started it last November, and when the holiday season came around, I just put it to the side to prioritize holiday reads, and so I was ready to pick it back up again, and it was so good. I absolutely loved this one. And I saved my favorite read for last. You'll Never Know. This is a thriller that was so twisty, so suspenseful. Another book that started off really strong, but this one kept the suspense going. I ate it up. I read it in 2 days. I couldn't stop. It was so freaking good. 5 stars. You have to read this one. Now let's move on to my February hopefuls. One of my goals this year was not to make hopefuls lists in 2026, or at least not big stacks, because I really want to do more mood reading and just go where my mood takes me with my books. And sometimes I feel like when I have too much of a hopefuls list, it makes me feel restricted in what I can read. So I'm trying not to do that, and I didn't really do that in January, but I have a lot of books that I want to read in February, or that I need to read. So I don't know. I'm a little bit stressed out about it, but we'll see what happens. Plus the thing is too, where I wasn't really feeling rom-coms or romance books, it's February, it's Valentine's season, now it's this is the time where I should be reading romance books. I don't know. I'm going to try. I think, like I said, I'm kind of pulling out of it, so we'll see how that goes. So the 2 books that I'm wanting to get back into, the arcs that I had that I just had to put down for a little bit. The first one is Just for the Cameras. This is Megan Quinn's newest book. Let me tell you, I got the ALC, which is the audio arc, and the E arc, so I was doing an immersive read with it, and it was so funny. That's what was so interesting about my feelings, reactions about it. I was laughing in this book. It was so funny, but it just wasn't what my mood wanted. So I'm excited to get back into it because I think I'm ready for some funny. I also did pick up the physical copy of this book because I feel like I'm wanting to do an immersive read with the physical book. I don't know what the difference is, but that's just what my mind wanted, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm thinking it'll help elevate the experience better. And the other book is The Redo List. And listen, I was really wanting to get this book done by early February because I'm meeting this author at a book event, so I wanted to meet her having read this book, and I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm 30% in, and it's really good. I don't know if I'm gonna end up finishing it before I meet her, but either way, it's going to be fun. Now, I am filming this a little bit into February, and I have already finished a book. I finished A Sea of Unspoken Things. I started at the end of January, finished it in early February, and let me tell you, this was so good. I read this like when I was in my slumpy feel, and it was exactly what I needed to drop in, disconnect, and just immerse myself in an atmospheric read. That's what I love about Adrienne Young's writing, is her books are super atmospheric and keep you guessing the whole way through. I really loved it. So it's not necessarily hopeful because I already finished it, but here it is anyway. I'm also going to be meeting Adrienne Young and having her sign this book when I go to that same event that Denise Williams will be at. So yeah, very exciting. Another book that I started around the same time as A Sea of Unspoken Things is Sunrise on the Reaping, because I just needed to read something dystopian and I've been wanting to read this for a while. So I finally picked it up. I'm doing an immersive read with the audio. I'm not reading this actual book because this is beautiful and it's just shelf piece because it's stunning, but I have the ebook. So yeah, the audio is so good. I'm really liking the story so far. I'm about 45% maybe through. Anyway, it's so good. What's interesting too is the narrator for the audiobook is an actor in Yellowstone, and my husband and I are also rewatching Yellowstone right now. So it's kind of interesting to be like watching that character in Yellowstone and then listening to him read this book. But it works because I think he does a really great job of embodying this character. So yeah, it's great. Now let's get into the rest of my hopefuls. So last month I was supposed to read Wild Side. I didn't get to it. I can't believe I didn't read this because I've been loving my Elsie Silver journey. So I'm very excited to dive into this one. And I also need to be reading Wild Card. I've been doing a big group buddy read with the Elsie Silver books, so I want to make sure that I'm participating in that. So I'm very excited. It'll close out the Rose Hill series, which is sad, but I've been loving it. Although I'm not gonna force myself to get to this if I can't do it this month. As long as I do this one, I'll be fine. I'm also going to continue with the Rebel Blue Ranch series with book 2, Swift and Saddled. I have the audio on hold at Libby and it's coming available soon, probably like in a week or so. So I'm gonna be doing an immersive read of this and I can't wait. Next is 32 Days in May. I'm going to be meeting this author at that event as well, and so I'm really wanting to read this book. I've heard such good things about it, and my plan is to do the audio of this one, so I'll probably, I don't know when I'll be reading it, but because I do have a hair appointment coming up, and I can always read quite a bit of an audiobook when I do that because I have an hour trip there and back, so I can get through an audiobook pretty fast. But I also might finish it or listen to it on my way to the event, which I should be able to finish on the way there. We'll see. Either way, I'll be listening to this one and getting through it for sure. I'm very excited. Next is Cambria. This is an arc that I'm going to be reading and I'm very excited. It sounds like a really emotional romance read and yeah, I can't wait. It sounds so good. I'm very excited. One thing I'm wanting to do this year is try to read at least one historical fiction book every month. So for this month, I'm probably going to be reading Happy Land. I'm not sure though. I do have the audio of this, so I might do an immersive read. So I want to read this or the other book I have of this author, Take My Hand. Somebody from book club let me borrow this and she raves about this book. So I might have to do this one because I really want to read it. They're both historical fiction. They both sound really good, but this one is one that she won't stop talking about and I trust her book recommendations. So I need to read this one. So we'll see what happens because like I said, I have the audio and I just love immersive reads. So we will see. I want to read a Shanora Williams book this month. She writes a lot of genres, but I read her thriller books and I have 3 of them. I don't know which one I want to read. I have The Bitter Truth, The Other Mistress, and The Perfect Ruin. So I want to read one of them, but like I said, I don't know. I'll probably, when I'm ready to read it, just read the back and see which one sparks my interest more and try to fit that one in. So we'll see. And the last book that I would really like to get to this month is Daggermouth. Now, I'm in my dystopian era right now, and I have heard such good things about this book. I am dying to read it. I already have it on KU, downloaded to my phone, and I'm thinking after I finish Sunrise on the Reaping, I'll start reading this because I really want to so bad. I've heard such good things, and I'm in my dystopian era, like I said, so I think this one is really gonna hit for me. So yeah, hoping to get to this. It's a lot. It's a lot of books, but I'm gonna just take it easy and just not try to force myself to read things that aren't hitting for me, putting things down, picking them up later if I need to. That's just the way to do it so I don't get myself into a slump. we'll see what I can get through. I feel like I have a lot of time to listen to audiobooks this month, with, like I said, like doing my hair appointment and then traveling for the event. It's about 4 hours. No, I think it's about 4.5 hours to the event. So that's like a good chunk of time, like there and then 4.5 back. So that'll be a good time period to get a lot of reading in. And I love listening to audiobooks in the car, so that'll be fun. In the comments, let me know which books you are excited to read in February. Thanks for watching, besties. I'll see you next time.